This is a topic that doesn't always make headlines, but our viewers have been telling us they care about it because it's controversial and it's to do with religious freedoms and religious exceptions for things. It's non-stun slaughter of animals for food. Figures from the Food Standards Agency from 2018 showed 94 million cattle, sheep and poultry were slaughtered in England without being pre-stunned. While a GBNews viewer, Tom, got in touch and said, please, can we discuss the taboo subject of the legalised non-stun slaughter? At the moment in the UK, all animals do have to be stunned, but there are religious exceptions. So halal, for example, and kosher meat, they do not have to stun animals for that. And the reason they have to be stunned is so that they're supposedly unable to feel pain when they're being slaughtered for food.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I know a lot of people have got very, very strong views on halal meat and kosher meat as well. We're joined now by Emma Slawinski, Head of Policy and Advocacy at the RSPCA, who've been campaigning against the practice for a number of years. Why is it... Well, no, actually, let me rephrase this. If an animal isn't stunned before it's slaughtered, does it suffer more?
Yes, absolutely. That's unequivocal. The science is really, really clear. So I appreciate it's a bit of a gruesome subject, but essentially you're talking about a stun making an animal insensible until they're dead, so that they aren't feeling, they aren't suffering whilst their throats are cut and they're bleeding out. So if the animal is not stunned, they're enduring all of that process, which can take anything from sort of 20 seconds up to about 2 minutes to complete. They are able to have sensation and to be feeling for all of that time. So there's definitely suffering involved if an animal is slaughtered without being stunned.
Why are there religious exceptions? What is the justification for that?
Well, I think you would probably need a scholar to go into the detail for you. And just to be absolutely clear, non-stun slaughter and religious slaughter are not interchangeable terms. About 60% of animals in the UK that are slaughtered for the halal community, for example, are stunned. So it's not the case that these two terms are interchangeable. No animals slaughtered for shahita, which is the kosher method of slaughter. None of those animals are stunned. And overall, as you said, we're talking about around 90 million animals every year. So it's a very significant number. And what we've seen with the animals slaughtered for halal communities who are stunned, it's about having the confidence that that stun is recoverable. So essentially, if you stunned that animal and then you left them alone, you didn't make the cut to the throat, that animal would eventually regain consciousness and be okay. And that seems to be how stunning becomes acceptable under the halal methodology. So we know it can be done, and there is lots of really good work going on with religious communities to increase that number from the 60% and hopefully take that wider. But we should be absolutely clear, this is about priorities, and the RSPCA absolutely supports religious freedom, but our priority is animal welfare. So for us, slaughter without stunning is unacceptable.
Look, absolutely. But one way to potentially change things is for people to vote with their wallets, in a sense, really. And if people didn't like the idea that they were eating an animal that hadn't been stunned before it was slaughtered, then they could not buy it. And eventually, if enough people did that...
Then how would you know, actually?
And this is the thing. Yeah. How do you know? Is there labelling on it? Does it have to say it's halal or kosher?
No, it doesn't. And this is something we would really support, would be a change to make sure that there was clear labelling. The derogation at the moment says that you can you can slaughter an animal without stunning for specific communities. So it's supposed to be a sort of slaughter to order kind of method, if you like, so that there aren't excess animals slaughtered without stunning, more than are needed by that community. And that system at the moment is broken. It doesn't work. There are more animals slaughtered without stunning than are required by those communities. So we'd really like to see that tightened up. For example, we don't think that any animals should be slaughtered without stunning for export. We should be limiting the numbers as tightly as we can. So, no export, really tightening up on that derogation to make sure that it's only the required amount, no excess, and for it all to be labelled so that people are making a conscious choice.
All right, Emma. Thank you very much. Sorry, we're just running out of time there, but Emma Slawinski there, Head of Policy and Advocacy at the RSPCA, discussing that no stun slaughter. Thank you so much for coming on the show.